Vance Joseph's story has become one of the most fascinating narratives in the modern NFL, a story of resilience, patience, and quiet determination that has now turned into one of the most remarkable career resurgences in recent memory. It feels almost unreal to think back to those early days when the Denver Broncos took a chance on him, handing him the reins of one of football's most storied franchises in the aftermath of Gary Kubiak's departure. The expectations were enormous. The spotlight was relentless, and the margin for error was nearly non-existent. For Joseph, it was a trial by fire, a baptism into the harsh realities of life as an NFL head coach in a market that demands nothing less than excellence. Those years were difficult, marked by quarterback instability, front office uncertainty, and a roster that was still adjusting after the highs of a Super Bowl championship season. The record books will show 2 losing years, but those who followed closely understood that Joseph was never truly given a fair shot. Rumors circulated that he lacked full authority to choose his offensive staff, that key personnel decisions were made above his head, and that he inherited a situation almost impossible to fix quickly. Despite the challenges he faced, Joseph carried himself with the calm professionalism that has now become his trademark, never making excuses, never shifting blame, simply continuing to work. Time has a way of rewarding perseverance, and Vance Joseph's path has proven exactly that. After leaving Denver, he spent several seasons with the Arizona Cardinals, rebuilding his reputation as one of the sharpest defensive minds in the game. His return to Denver in 2023 as defensive coordinator under Sean Payton marked the beginning of a new chapter, a chance not only to redeem himself but to redefine what Denver's defense could be. The early results were tough to watch. The 70-point disaster against the Miami Dolphins stood as a low point that could have shattered any coordinator's confidence. Yet Joseph responded not with panic but with precision and patience, methodically reconstructing the unit into one of the NFL's best defenses. Since that turning point, Denver's defense has been nothing short of elite, ranking among the top 3 in points allowed per game, leading the league in third down defense and red zone stops, and consistently frustrating some of the best offenses in football. The transformation has been both statistical and cultural. Joseph has cultivated a mentality of accountability and physicality his players have bought in completely, and the energy on the field reflects a team that knows exactly who they are. From the veteran pass rushers who continue to produce at a high level to the young emerging stars who have thrived under his system, Joseph has molded a defense that plays fast, fearless, and fundamentally sound. This kind of turnaround has not gone unnoticed across the league. Executives, scouts, and insiders are all paying close attention to what Joseph has accomplished in Denver. The word around the league is that he has become one of the most respected and admired coaches in football, a name that will be near the top of every hiring list when the next head coaching cycle begins in 2026. According to multiple reports, teams are already quietly preparing to make their pitch to him, and the buzz surrounding his future has only grown louder with each passing week. The New York Giants and the Tennessee Titans, both in need of fresh leadership, are seen as natural fits for Joseph's skill set, disciplined, organized, and able to command the respect of a locker room from day one. Joseph's story is also one deeply rooted in mentorship and recognition. Gary Kubiak saw his potential long before most did. Back in their days with the Houston Texans, Kubiak valued Joseph's intelligence, his ability to connect with players, and his instinct for defensive football, so much so that when he was leading the Broncos, he pushed hard for Joseph's hiring as head coach. That recommendation came at a cost. Denver chose Joseph over Kyle Shanahan, a decision that remains one of the most debated moments in recent franchise history, but hindsight now paints a different picture. The issue was never about whether Joseph could coach, it was about whether the timing was right. Now, several years later, Joseph has grown wiser, steadier, and more in control of his craft. He has proven that leadership is not defined by early success, but by the ability to learn, adapt, and evolve his players. Trust him, his peers respect him, and the league views him as a man who has earned another opportunity at the highest level. Should he receive that opportunity, Denver would still benefit directly through the NFL's hiring compensation policy, which would grant the Broncos valuable third-round picks in both the 2026 and 2027 drafts, and with emerging talents like Jim Leonhard waiting in the wings, the team is well positioned to remain competitive even if Joseph moves on. Ultimately, Vance Joseph's rise is Not just a story about football, but about persistence and renewal. He has weathered the storm, endured the criticism, and emerged stronger than ever. Before his first chance, he was seen as a promising assistant. After it, he was dismissed as another failed experiment, but now he stands as one of the league's most respected minds. The redemption is complete, and yet the story is still being written. So as the NFL prepares for another round of coaching changes, one question will dominate the conversation: who will give Vance Joseph his next shot, and perhaps even more importantly, what could he become when the timing finally matches the talent? For fans of the game, and especially for Broncos country, this is a moment to watch closely. The story of Vance Joseph is far from over, and its next chapter could reshape the coaching landscape. Once again, if you enjoy deep coverage of stories like this, make sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and join our growing community of fans. Your voice, your perspective, and your passion are what make this space special. Together, we will continue to follow every twist, every rumor, and every breakthrough as the journey of Vance Joseph and the Denver Broncos unfolds.